Group B play in the Concacaf 2007 Gold Cup shifts to New England, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to be precise, where the United States and El Salvador will finish up group play as we continue our coverage of the Gold Cup. Alongside Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi. The United States, the only team in this Gold Cup to win its first two games of the tournament, and right now Shep Messing, as host country, they're also looking like the team to beat.
Steve, there's no question. I've played for the U.S. down in El Salvador, and it's difficult. But here in New England, this USA team is flying. I think El Salvador will have a difficult time.
And the picture now is starting to uncloud as far as what to expect in the quarterfinal round of this Gold Cup 2007. Two entries have already clinched a place in the knockout phase. That from Group A. We're talking about Canada and Costa Rica, which finished 1-2 in that group. There is still hope for Guadeloupe as well in its first ever entry into the Gold Cup. It's possible that they can qualify for a berth as a number 3 seed from Group A. Now as we shift our attention to Group B, the United States is the only team in this group that's assured of going to the quarterfinal round, that by virtue of a 2-0 record. What about El Salvador, the team it plays today? Well, El Salvador can assure itself of a quarterfinal berth with a win. A draw would also keep hope alive. As we move a little bit later on into our coverage of today's game, we'll talk about all the possibilities and how the nightcap of the doubleheader here certainly will affect who comes out of Group B. The United States getting set to take on El Salvador. Foxborough, New England. Game 3 for the U.S. and El Salvador in group play. The opening kickoff. Starting lineups coming right up.
At the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, we test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
The screenings that happen here might be fun or dramatic, but it's not real life. There's another screening that is real life, and it could save your life. It's a screening test for colorectal cancer, the second leading cancer killer of men and women. Screening finds precancerous polyps so they can be removed before they turn into cancer. I got screened. Now it's your turn, so you can stick around and enjoy the show.
If you're 50 or older, get screened for colorectal cancer.
Work like a pro. Play like a pro. Tackle tough jobs. Dominate the game. Destroy the competition. Go professional. Choose Makita.
The officials and combatants on the field for Game 3 of group play in Group B of this Gold Cup. The referee, Benito Arcundia from Mexico, will be the head man officiating this game as the United States in white takes on El Salvador. The U.S. plays this game with a comfort level. They know they're in the quarterfinal round, really just trying to tweak themselves, get tuned up for the knockout phase, and also solidify themselves as the team to beat in this tournament. Alongside Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi, getting a quick look at Landon Donovan. There is Alfredo Pacheco. El Salvador is the upset-minded team today, and they have their work cut out.
Yeah, Steve, it's so exciting when the teams walk onto the field. That's when you get the chills, an electric crowd here. You're right, for the U.S. team, Steve, it's a freebie. Bob Bradley can tweak the lineup, see what kind of combinations work best. For El Salvador, no such thing. It's going to take 100% perfect effort. We look at their starting 11, Cerritos, Campos. Those are the two guys up top they'll look for goals.
Dennis Alas is the man who has a game-winning goal. He'll anchor the midfield for El Salvador. Their one win in this tournament came via an upset of Trinidad and Tobago in the first game of group play. The United States has used so many players. As a matter of fact, all but one position player, other than goalkeepers, had been used in the first two games. The lone exception, Pablo Mastriani, and what do you know? He's part of the starting 11 to join this U.S. team today.
Steve, every time we look at it, we look at the goalkeepers, Montes for El Salvador. Bob Bradley has tremendous options. He's playing this game. It looks to me like a lineup based on speed and quickness. No really classic striker. Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey playing up top.
United States moving from left to right on your screen, controlling Michael Parkhurst to Oguchi Onyewu, who sat out the last game after he was slapped with a red card in Game 1 for the United States. DeMarcus Beasley with his first touch, and the United States plays it along the far side where Clint Dempsey was making a run. El Salvador is not at full strength in this game. Shep, you already mentioned Miguel Montes as the goalkeeper. That's because Gomez was injured in the last game they played against Guatemala and suspended for today's game Alicio Quintanilla and Albitzura. Quintanilla, I thought, was one of their best players in the first 2 games.
Yeah, that's the void they're going to have to fill, El Salvador. Quintanilla is really their catalyst in terms of creativity. But right now, Steve, first 20 minutes, I think the job for El Salvador is not to create, but see if they can knock the U.S. team out of their rhythm.
This is Jonathan Spector, who's getting a start at right back in today's game. He played on the left side in the last victory for the U.S.
Yeah, I like the versatility of Jonathan Spector. That was Cerritos tracking back, not letting Spector get forward.
Michael Bradley pushing forward for the United States, plays one deep on the right side where Clint Dempsey was making a run. This goes all the way back to Montes, the goalkeeper. This seems to be also a very defensive-minded U.S. lineup for the game. 4 in the back, and in addition to that, Bradley, Feilhaber, and Mastriani, 3 defensive-minded, tough midfielders. Going deep, Campos making a run, but Tim Howard gobbles it up for the U.S.
Yeah, it's an interesting lineup, Steve, for the U.S. team. I think you're correct, but it's all about Bob Bradley. Look at this ball over the top, and the referee's assistant with the flag up. It's about Bradley, Bob Bradley, the coach, tinkering with tandems. So he's got Onyewu with Parkhurst as central defenders, wants to see how they work together.
Let's take a look at the El Salvador bench for today's game. Menjivar is available. He was injured in that first game, and once again, no Quintanilla in the lineup or Albitzura, each suspended due to multiple yellow cards in this tournament. Pacheco plays it back. Enriquez now plays it on the back line for El Salvador. Opening moments of the game here at Foxborough. No score at Gillette Stadium yet. Along the near side, El Salvador controls. They look to play it ahead. Now Clint Dempsey finds the ball at his foot, and Spector making an overlapping run. Dempsey plays it wide. This is Spector. Cross into the box. Landon Donovan with a glancing header, and that just goes by the far post. Great chance for the United States, just misses.
I keep talking about an unusual lineup, the versatility. Spector gets forward. How in the world do you leave Landon Donovan all alone? That was Enriquez, the defender. Didn't see Landon Donovan slip in behind him. You've got to mark Landon Donovan if you're El Salvador.
Well, the ex-Manchester United defender, Jonathan Spector, with the great cross to Landon Donovan. And Donovan looking to get unleashed in this tournament. Man who's played really on the outside for the United States as a wide flank player in the first 2 games, and it looks like that's how he's going to be utilized again today. We'll see if that changes as we go along.
Yeah, you talked about the midfield for the U.S. The very interesting, because with Feilhaber, Michael Bradley, DeMarcus Beasley, Mastroeni, there's a lot of bite, physical toughness. It'll be interesting to see who out of that midfield gets forward into the attack. Obviously, Beasley will.
Lionel Guevara plays this long for El Salvador. Oguchi Onyewu defending there for the United States, but this is controlled by Dennis Alas, who takes a long-range shot, but that's blocked right away. Controlled in the midfield by El Salvador. Now the United States looks to come up off Mastriani's head, and the U.S. has problems breaking out. That's because of a foul, though, by Lionel Guevara, and the U.S. will push forward.
Yeah, there's a pensive Bob Bradley. I think if you're El Salvador, Steve, you want to slow up the pace of this game a little bit.
United States team undefeated in the first 7 games with Bob Bradley as U.S. head coach. 6 wins and a draw so far. Onyewu has it for the United States and plays it back to Michael Parkhurst. Opening moments here at Gillette Stadium. The United States knows it's into the quarterfinal round. Oguchi Onyewu plays this long in the direction of Clint Dempsey, headed forward by Mastriani down the right side where Landon Donovan was making a run. This will be a corner kick now coming up for the United States. The 2-time World Cup veteran, 24-year-old Landon Donovan, will take the corner kick for the U.S. as Montes looks on in goal. No player was more heavily criticized after the World Cup than Donovan upon the U.S. arrival back from Germany. We'll wait for the signal from the referee. Arcundia from Mexico. And Donovan set to strike now for the U.S. Good crowd at Gillette Stadium. First wave of games in this group was played at Carson, California. Donovan lofts one in front. Montes goes out, knocks it away with one hand. Long-range shot by Feilhaber is blocked. U.S. stays on the attack now. Donovan cuts left, off the left foot, in front. Making a run was Dempsey, but Montes has it.
Yeah, gradually the U.S. increasing the pressure. El Salvador really needs to win the ball, try and hold it a little bit. They've been unable to do that.
Cerritos on the near side had the ball at his foot. Now we get a whistle on the play. There's an injured player down. That's Ramon Sanchez of El Salvador, and we'll sort this out now.
Yeah, it was Michael Bradley coming in with a crunching tackle in the midfield.
Michael Bradley now has picked up a yellow card in the 10th minute of play.
Yeah, I love the play of Michael Bradley, though. Oh, I'm sorry, it was not Bradley. Parkhurst was the one coming in with the tackle. Maybe Bradley after, but every time I see Bradley, it looks like he's grown another inch or two. He looks to be about 6'3", 6'4", and good skill on the ball.
Dennis Alas plays this back. El Salvador controls. This is Pacheco now stepping up left side. Pacheco back into the El Salvador area where Escobar plays this back for his goalkeeper Montes. Montes, Guevara looking for Escobar, taken away by the U.S. Donovan with a shot off the left foot, goes way wide of goal. Landon Donovan with chances early in this match.
Yeah, that's a giveaway at the back. They can ill afford to do that. Landon Donovan picks up the errant pass. Left-footed shot sailing over, but the U.S. playing brimming with confidence, Steve. They're picking up very high on the field, not allowing El Salvador any time on the ball.
Ronald Cerritos played this across. El Salvador looks to control. That's Carballo who played it forward, but Aguchi Onyewu retreats for the United States and has it. Onyewu for Spector now. Jonathan Spector pushes forward. Bradley tries to fight for it. The battle there is won by Pacheco, though. Pacheco looks to play it on the near side. That goes over the touchline. This is a throw-in coming up for the United States.
Well, again, the high pressure by the U.S. Michael Bradley, Landon Donovan pinching in to double-team the ball. El Salvador played it out.
Bornstein for Beasley. And DeMarcus Beasley brought down on the far side of the field, and he's in pain, and we've got another yellow card coming out. That one issued to Lionel Guevara in the game's 19th minute.
Yeah, good call by the referee. You really don't want to let this game get out of control. Guevara coming in, clipping DeMarcus Beasley from behind. Well, second look, I think Beasley made that look a little bit worse than it was.
Guevara retreats, so the second caution of the game issued right there. The United States now with Spector on the ball on the near side. He plays it off. Ronald Cerritos, throw-in coming up for the United States as they look to remain undefeated in group play all time in this Gold Cup. The United States has played 21 games historically in group play. They have won 20 of them, and there was one draw. In the last victory over Trinidad and Tobago, their 30th Gold Cup victory. That's the most of any team. Mastriani plays this. Crossfield, headed down. Beasley now, top of the box, has it knocked away. Dempsey making a run, puts it and hits it off the post. Clint Dempsey alertly one-timing it off the post. Golden opportunity for the U.S. Donovan stays with it for the United States now. Landon Donovan, left-footed shot. Montes gobbles it up. The chances all for the United States so far.
That was a great little effort. It started with DeMarcus Beasley. The ball gets through. Clint Dempsey has no option but to use the outside of his right foot. He's running square to the goal. That was the only way he could get something on goal, and Montes got a little lucky, kicked off the post and off the goalkeeper.
Spector for the United States now. Bottom line, this is still a scoreless game in the 31st minute of play. Headed all the way back to Montes in goal. Juan Gomez, the injured goalkeeper, is not even available on the bench for today's match. And Montes is set to boot it over the midfield stripe. El Salvador looking to join the United States as a quarterfinalist to emerge from Group B. A win definitely does that, and a draw keeps hope alive.
El Salvador, Steve, needs to do a better job getting the ball and stringing some passes together. They've been back on their heels defending. This U.S. lineup looks very fluid.
In the midfield, controlled by El Salvador. Campos making a run. Right side. Puts the brakes on. Onyewu marks him. Left-footed shot. Deflected. Tim Howard's got it. And that's probably the most potent chance El Salvador's had in the match so far.
Yeah, Campos, I thought, should have gone earlier to goal, slowed it down, tried to put it on his left foot. That enabled 4 U.S. defenders to get back.
Michael Bradley plays this. Beasley on the ball now. Donovan. Back for Beasley. DeMarcus Beasley. Left side. With Guevara on him. Lionel Guevara brings down DeMarcus Beasley. A foul is called. Now, Guevara already has a yellow card. Let's see whether or not there's another one coming. Certainly a foul, but it looks like that's all there'll be.
I thought that was a harder tackle than the initial one that he got a yellow for. Landon Donovan gets taken down by Enriquez.
So some bite to El Salvador's game defensively here in the last couple of moments. The United States, though, has a free kick. Landon Donovan, opposite side of the field, will take it for the United States now. They fight for space. Donovan is set. Donovan deflected in front. Wide of goal. U.S. will get a quarter kick out of this, though. It's off El Salvador and Escobar.
Yeah, you saw the little hand signal by Landon Donovan. If he raises one hand in the air, he's going near post. If he raises 2 far post, they switch that up during the game. The more often you get corner kicks and set pieces.
Beasley goes over. Let's see if the U.S. plays it short. Now DeMarcus Beasley comes back, and Donovan is set. Pacheco and Onyewu get physical in the box. Here's Donovan. In swinger, deflects back. DeMarcus Beasley gets through goal! United States takes a 1-0 lead. In the 34th minute, DeMarcus Beasley has red, white, and blue on top.
That deserves a smile, Bob Bradley. That ball took forever to go in. Montez, the goalkeeper, didn't see it till the last second. This ball's going to be whipped in. It's Michael Bradley making a near post run, keeps that ball alive. Nobody has Beasley. Look how many players in between Montez and Beasley. Nobody picks up Beasley. He's going to stab at it with the right foot. Now Montez sees it just as it's going in the goal.
DeMarcus Beasley, the 4th different goal scorer for the United States in this tournament, and the U.S. hasn't surrendered a goal. Donovan sets it up with the corner kick, and now the U.S. plays with a lead.
Well, Steve, that's the worst thing in the world for El Salvador. They were back on their heels, give up this goal on the corner kick. Now they're going to have to try and slow down this game and get some kind of build-up. The USA, they're flying.
Ronald Cerritos did a good job for El Salvador to force the corner kick. He'll leave it for Pacheco. It's a double-edged sword in this final phase of group play for El Salvador. They want to come back from this deficit. Here's a shot from the top of the box, deflects right to Tim Howard. But as I pick up on that point, you don't want the game to get out of hand either, because goal differential, in particular in this Group B, might play a large role in determining who goes to the quarterfinal round. So it's easy to say, let's go for it because we trail. Sometimes there's a price to pay for that.
Yeah, Steve, you're 100% right. This is group play. Goal differential makes a difference. I think if you're El Salvador, I've been saying it from the beginning, slow the game down. Don't get into a wide open game. But the U.S., they're not allowing them to do it.
Beasley plays it forward for the U.S. in the direction of Feilhaber. U.S. tries to push forward, but Michael Bradley had it knocked away. And now back for El Salvador. Making a run down this left side is Cerritos. Has it knocked away. Defended by Spector. It's a throw-in coming up for El Salvador.
Yeah, this crowd's still roaring about the DeMarcus Beasley goal.
Toss in by Pacheco. Gets it back from Cerritos. Now plays it into open space. Ronald Cerritos able to put this one high. Deflected off of number 13 for the United States, Bornstein. And the flag indeed did go up.
Yeah, very close call. He was, Cerritos, in an offside position when the ball was played.
The first tiebreak coming out of group play. So we get one more look at the goal by Beasley.
Yeah, that's a mistake, though, from El Salvador. Nobody picked up Beasley when they marked up for the corner kick. He's all alone top of the box. Liverpool's the only team in the world that plays a zone coverage on a corner kick. You cannot leave a guy alone there. They got punished for it.
Bornstein off to the races, then had it knocked away. Defended by Guevara, who plays it across. As I was saying, the first tiebreak in group play is head-to-head competition if it's between two teams. If it's a three-way tie, then goal differential plays in, and that could easily happen in this group. '26-year-old Alfredo Pacheco has been a starter in every game in group play for El Salvador. Bradley plays it back. Michael Parkhurst on the ball. Carlos de los Cobos, the head coach of El Salvador. One-time star defender for the Mexican national team. Feilhaber for the U.S. for Bradley. Michael Bradley at the midfield stripe. Beasley now playing on the right side.
Yeah, again, Bob Bradley has done a terrific job. He's got so many viable options.
DeMarcus Beasley brought down at the top of the box. No foul called. We play on. Pacheco has it. Beasley's hit the turf a number of times in this first half.
And the reason you switch sides is to elude your marking. DeMarcus Beasley got cracked a couple of times on the left side.
By Guevara. U.S. into open space. Guevara now plays this towards the top of the box. Knocked away. It's controlled by El Salvador. And Carballo is on the ball now. Plays it ahead. Cerritos has had a tough time getting going. Taken away. U.S. plays it wide. Donovan on the ball now. Landon Donovan with Spector making an overlapping run. Plays it to the left side. Donovan gets it back in the box. Cuts back. Top of the box. Shot! Beasley mishit it. Sailed high over the crossbar, but a terrific setup by the United States.
That's a spectacular play by Landon Donovan. Unfortunately for the U.S., it ends up on the right foot of DeMarcus Beasley instead of his left. He is not terrific with his right foot, primarily a left-footed player, but good little mazy run and great vision by Landon Donovan to lay that ball back.
Beasley's had a fine first half here for the United States. Few players on the U.S. roster have a history with Bob Bradley more than he. Played for him in MLS years ago with the Fire. Donovan lays this off. Here's Beasley with a shot! Once again sails just over the crossbar. DeMarcus Beasley firing from all over the field. 1-0 is still your score, though.
This is great teamwork again. Look at a one-touch pass. That's perfection, and it does go on the favored left foot. That's a great one-touch pass by Clint Dempsey. Unselfish, smart by Donovan. That's excellent vision. DeMarcus should have done better with that.
United States is making this look easy in the attacking third, though, Shep. That's an indictment of El Salvador defensively?
It's really, I give it a compliment more to the U.S. team. They're moving as fluidly as I've ever seen. And with Donovan, Dempsey, and DeMarcus Beasley, you have technical skill and you also have speed.
Far side of the field, El Salvador looking for the equalizer. Gets a throw in now. We are in added time in this first half, a 1-0 game. Beasley for the U.S. plays it forward. Off to the races once again. Donovan with Dempsey making a run. Now lays it off right side. Feilhaber plays this into the box. That was knocked away and off a hand. Penalty kick is the call.
That's Pacheco. Feilhaber made the run. Little chip with the right foot. Have to get a look again. I think this was a good call. There's Feilhaber. Pacheco. I think it's a good call. The question is, where was he? Let's take a look. Foot is on the line. It doesn't matter. The hand from that angle looks like the handball's in the box. Could have gone either way, Steve. Ball playing the hand or hand playing the ball. I think he kept that hand out there long enough that the referee makes the right call. This is a terrible time for El Salvador. to give up a penalty kick in stoppage time. Let's see what Montez can do.
The 27-year-old goalkeeper Montez needs to come up big right now. It'll be Donovan who takes it for the United States. Their number one goalkeeper, Gomez, out with injury. Donovan looking for his first goal of this Gold Cup. Landon strikes. Got a piece of it. Follow-up shot. Donovan on a rebound to make it a 2-0 game.
I don't think it's going to count, Steve. Montez right away jumped up to his feet. This man had his flag up. Let's see what the call is.
Donovan is arguing it was a legitimate rebound. They're going to do the penalty kick over one more time.
Look, the goalkeeper is off. He can move laterally. He's off his line. If the ball had gone in, it would have counted. But because it was a rebound, it's a do-over. He's got to take it over. Montez moved off his line, made the save. Again, if that kick had gone in, it would have counted. But because Landon put it in on the rebound, he's got to take it again. Wow. Great save by Montez. I've never seen this ritual by Landon Donovan. Can't figure that one out.
Now let's see if he goes in the same spot. Donovan again. This time, smack down the middle. That's got to hurt. Montez did all he could. He made the initial stop on the try that did not count. 2-0 United States is your score.
Wow. That was not a well-taken penalty kick, but it counts all the same. Flat-footed Montez. If you're going to hit down the center of the goal, you better rip it. Landon Donovan gets lucky on this. That is not a well-taken penalty kick. Again, if you're going to guess that the goalkeeper's moving, you've got to rip that ball with velocity. Lucky that was not saved as well, but it is what it is, and what a time for the U.S. to get their second goal.
First half is over. Our halftime coverage in a moment.
Work like a pro. Play like a pro. Tackle tough jobs. Dominate the game. Destroy the competition. Go professional. Choose Makita.
Through the Football for Hope movement, FIFA is committed to protecting children and their rights, furthering social integration, and peace and reconciliation. Football for Hope champions health promotion and anti-discrimination. FIFA is firmly committed to using football to resolve some of the most pressing social challenges of our time. Football can change the world.
At the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, we test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
From our Concacaf Gold Cup studios, alongside Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi. Halftime of the game between the United States and El Salvador. It is a 2-0 lead for a U.S. team that already knows it's going to the quarterfinals. And now for El Salvador, this gets a little dicey. They're down 2, and they have to be careful because goal differential plays into this equation, Shep.
Well, Steve, I think El Salvador's in trouble. Not so much what they're doing, but I think this is as well as I've seen a USA team run off the ball, and it all started with Landon Donovan. I think El Salvador is going to have to try and take Landon Donovan out of the game.
Well, the highlights, mostly United States dominating offensively. Let's take a look at what unfolded the first 45 minutes.
Dominating first half for the United States. Dempsey out wide to Spector. Spector loops the ball in. Who's got Landon Donovan? Nobody. Donovan with a glancing header just misses at the far post. Now a slip up in the back, outside of the right foot. Clint Dempsey can't get it on goal. Corner kick. Michael Bradley keeps it alive. Beasley with the right foot. How in the world did that get through everybody? So many players in between. Montez, now he sees the ball. Too late. The U.S. continues. Beasley, left foot sails over. Donovan was tremendous. There's the one-touch pass by Dempsey. DeMarcus can't finish. Again, Donovan. Feilhaber. The chip in the box. Pacheco handball. There it is. In stoppage time of the first half. Referee points to the PK spot. Little ritual for that man. Landon Donovan is going to step up and drill it down the center of the goal. Easy conversion, 2-0 U.S.
And for the El Salvadorian goalkeeper, Montez, initially making a stop on a penalty kick. Then Donovan gets a second try. That has to be a debilitating thing for anybody. And of utmost concern right now, facing a U.S. team that seems to have all cylinders firing right now, Shep.
And, Steve, this is a U.S. team where Landon Donovan has drifted back into the midfield, but he's really orchestrating everything. So I think El Salvador has to find a way to slow this game down. It's being played at too high speed for them to contest.
We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, the second half, United States, El Salvador from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Our coverage of the Concacaf Gold Cup continues in a moment.
At the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, we test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
The screenings that happen here might be fun or dramatic, but it's not real life. There's another screening that is real life, and it could save your life. It's a screening test for colorectal cancer, the second leading cancer killer of men and women. Screening finds precancerous polyps so they can be removed before they turn into cancer. I got screened. Now it's your turn, so you can stick around and enjoy the show.
If you're 50 or older, get screened for colorectal cancer.
Work like a pro. Play like a pro. Tackle tough jobs. Dominate the game. Destroy the competition. Go professional. Choose Makita.
Foxborough, Massachusetts, this is Gillette Stadium where Group B action continues in the Gold Cup with Shep Messing. I'm Steve Cangelosi. So El Salvador is down by 2. We look down at the center of the field and a number of substitutions set to be made. Checking into the game for El Salvador is Manuel Salazar. He'll come in replacing Guevara, and that's not all. Number 13 for El Salvador, Julio Enrique Martinez, the 21-year-old striker, is set to come on. And checking out of the game is Carballo. So 2 subs for El Salvador, and the United States is going to get busy with the bench as well. In our halftime coverage, Shep, you talked about how well Landon Donovan was playing. He's done for the match, and Taylor Twellman, number 20, will check on for the United States.
Well, Steve, the substitutions for El Salvador, they're aimed at trying to slow down this game, get some kind of control. Guevara had picked up a yellow card, so get him out, put Salazar in. And yes, I think Landon Donovan played as well as I have ever seen him. He orchestrated everything out of the midfield. Great running off the ball, great running with the ball. Now a different look, a more classical striker up top, Taylor Twellman.
Knocked out by El Salvador. United States will push forward. There's Julio Martinez, who just checked in. A more explosive player offensively than Carballo. On the back line, this is controlled. Pacheco has it. The man who made contact with the ball in the box with his hand that led to the penalty kick for the U.S. that made it 2-0. Clint Dempsey for the U.S. now. Little stutter step on the far side of the field. That's Jose Orlando Martinez. 2 Martinezes in the game now for El Salvador. We have Jose in the midfield, Julio, one of the strikers. The United States has the ball now.
You pointed it out early in the first half, though, Steve. Feilhaber, Michael Bradley, Mastroeni. That's a very physical presence in the midfield, and I think that's part of the reason El Salvador's had difficulty.
They mix it up as far as who gets on the field now with 2 substitutions. Ramon Sanchez is on the ball now for El Salvador and looks to play it forward. Ronald Cerritos is a man they've relied on in international play, right there, number 11, and he's had a tough time not only against the United States but collectively these 3 games so far.
Yeah, I think he's been invisible, and really not all of the fault goes with Cerritos. He needs service. He hasn't gotten it.
Top of the box, this is headed by El Salvador on a bounce. No problem for Tim Howard, who takes control. That was Julio Martinez trying to get on the other end of it, and the U.S. plays it forward. Once again, the United States already into the quarterfinals. El Salvador trying to join them there. They can do so with a come-from-behind win in this game. Now, a draw at least keeps hope alive. A loss does not automatically eliminate El Salvador, but if it gets out of hand with goal differential, then it becomes virtually impossible. For the U.S. now, Feilhaber is on the ball. Puts it towards Dempsey, taken away by El Salvador. Nice play by Escobar to race that away. And now El Salvador controls. They go over the top, making a run down the center of the field. Ronald Cerritos, that's Parkhurst, who was with him every step of the way, and this will come back. Quick look at Taylor Twellman there, the New England Revolution. Reunited with Clint Dempsey. The 2 of them played well for New England.
Yeah, very close, but a good call. He was in an offside position. Parkhurst kept, caught up with him, but when the ball was played, Campos was offside.
Second national team appearance for Michael Parkhurst. He got his first cap in that last victory over Trinidad and Tobago. United States in the midfield controls. Twellman with a touch, wearing the gold shoes. Beasley now looking to spring Twellman. That's knocked away. This is a throw-in for the United States.
Yeah, Jonathan Bornstein has done a good job at left back. Hasn't gotten forward as much as Spector has on the right side of the field.
Mastroeni for Feilhaber. Gives to Twellman now. Feilhaber on the ball. Has it knocked away. Taken away by Enriquez, and back the other way, Jose Martinez for El Salvador. Plays this forward. Campos on the ball now. Oguchi Onyewu is there with him. And Onyewu looks to gobble it up. Follow-up try by El Salvador, partially blocked. Trying to get on it is Julio Martinez. He cannot, and the United States sends this back into the El Salvador area. Jose Enriquez plays it now and gives to Salazar, who checked in at the start of the second half. Little misplay. Taken away by Brian Ching, who's entered the game now. Shot from long range is deflected and gobbled up by El Salvador.
Almost a costly mistake at the back for El Salvador. Very simple pass that was misplayed. Ching intercepted, couldn't do anything with it.
Just to clarify the substitution, Ching into the game, and U.S. midfielder Michael Bradley has checked out. El Salvador tries to control with Cerritos on the near side. He has that knocked away. Here's a throw-in coming up for El Salvador. They trail by 2. Cerritos looks to shake loose. Got away from Parkhurst for a moment. U.S. back the other way now with Oguchi Onyewu on the ball. 2-0, United States leads it. The goals, Beasley and Landon Donovan on a penalty kick in the first half.
Little less movement with Landon Donovan out of the game, Steve. The U.S. needs, with this lineup, to find out who's the playmaker, who's going to dictate things in the middle of the field.
U.S. now with 2 true strikers, Twellman and the sizable Brian Ching playing up top. Here's a chance for El Salvador now. Jose Martinez off the left foot. Golden opportunity, but that sails high on the crossbar. Really one of the best chances El Salvador has had today.
Much better movement of the ball into space. Martinez will cut it back, just leaning under it, and that's why the ball sails over the crossbar.
El Salvador fans with a look of disbelief after that try. They have not seen their club string together many of them today. Feilhaber plays this forward for the U.S. Twellman, little one-touch back towards the midfield. Taken away by El Salvador. And in the midfield, they play it forward. Campos on the ball, knocked down by Parkhurst. That's a foul against the United States.
Much better run of play for El Salvador now, Steve. The U.S. not playing with the same verve, the same fluidity, giving the ball away. See if El Salvador can take advantage.
Set piece brought down on the far side. Pacheco towards goal. Tim Howard watches it sail by him. Ball kept in play by the U.S. Brought down to the foot of Salazar, but here's a takeaway now by DeMarcus Beasley. U.S. has numbers and open space. Beasley lays this off. Chance now. Ching into open space. Twellman brings it down. Taylor Twellman, shot, goal! 3-0 United States. You sensed it coming from about 75 yards away.
Steve, that's a great goal, and I'll tell you why. DeMarcus Beasley 2 years ago would have continued to run with the ball and try and do it all himself. Broke out down the left side of the field. Come on, Bob Bradley, smile. They're playing as well as I've ever seen, but watch this first touch by Twellman. That's perfect. Perfect control. It was Beasley making a smart play. Perfect pass by Brian Ching. Perfect first touch. And then the finish nutmegs the goalkeeper. Excellent teamwork. Look at a pass with the outside of the right foot.
Montes got a piece of it, but not enough. So for the United States, 3 different goal scorers in the game today. They have 6 different goal scorers in the tournament. They have not conceded a goal, and I'm not sure that you can ask for things to have gone any better to this point in the tournament.
And that man, Taylor Twellman, playing in his home grounds where he plays for the New England Revolution, and he's been scoring goals at a prolific rate in Major League Soccer this season. Gave a little salute to his hometown fans. It's
been quite an interesting ride for Taylor Twellman, who, when Bruce Arena was head coach of the U.S. national team, was not selected for the World Cup last year. He was chosen as an alternate, never got to go to Germany. He put up great numbers in Major League Soccer, and this wave now with the U.S. national team, he just has that look of determination that he doesn't want that next cycle to pass him by. He's an atypical striker, Steve, in that he's a good target player, but he's not that big. That's why I think Bruce Arena didn't go with him. A similar player to Brian Ching, but you're right, he's got renewed life with Bob Bradley. Ball is knocked away. El Salvador with a throw in now. This game has the feel of a potential disaster now for El Salvador. If this score holds, they would drop to a record of 1 win and 2 losses. Head-to-head tiebreak. Should it reach goal differential, this would not bode well for El Salvador. Right now, they're a -3. That's equivalent to what Trinidad and Tobago is. Trinidad and Tobago plays later tonight in the nightcap against Guatemala. El Salvador was in pretty good shape entering this game. That is not the case anymore. Well, Steve, I think if you're El Salvador, you would have hoped that the game, meaning nothing to the U.S., that they would have faced a team that didn't come out flying, but this has been a superb performance by the U.S. team. Mastriani in the midfield to Feilhaber now. Plays it wide. Dempsey was waiting for it. Knocked away. Sanchez plays it forward. Jose Martinez for El Salvador now. Wide right where Salazar was waiting. U.S. takes it away, though, as Beasley gets it to Twellman. Taylor Twellman into open space. Ching back for Twellman. Taylor Twellman still on the ball. Gives it up. Little Clint Dempsey move there. Goes back to Feilhaber. Feilhaber with a shot wide of goal, but again, terrific possession by the United States and some tight space there. Yeah, tantalizing the team from El Salvador. Great movement off the ball. I've never seen Brian Ching pass the ball so well. Dempsey with a step over. El Salvador going to the bench again. Campos will be coming out. Number 16 is Cesar Larios, the 19-year-old forward, who will attempt to at least get one back for El Salvador. It seems like the outcome of the game in terms of win and loss is not in question now, but El Salvador might help its cause with a goal or 2 down the stretch here. Beasley for the United States has it on the far side. Beasley's had a strong game. Another surge by DeMarcus, looking to take on one defender after another. Finally ran in to Sanchez and had it taken away. Pacheco is on the ball. Yeah, Twellman with his hands in the air.
thought he was fouled, thought his teammate DeMarcus Beasley was fouled. It was play on.
Back for the United States. Dempsey's on it. Clint Dempsey, open space. Ching lays it off, deflected away. It's all U.S. This is a throw-in coming up.
Steve, the passing by the U.S. team has been tremendous. Clint Dempsey with a perfect little ball behind the defense. Ching again. Donovan when he was in the game. When you run off the ball and your passing's crisp, good things happen.
In the midfield, Mastriani for the U.S. Frank Simic now. Playing right back. Marches forward, cross into the box. Deflected high. Escobar got up on it. Shot from long range. Sails wide of goal. That's Benny Feilhaber who gave it a ride. You talk about the new wave of players the last year for the United States to emerge. You look at Feilhaber as a guy who really seems to have a future in the United States midfield. I
think you're absolutely right. I love his touch on the ball. Feilhaber, a defensive holding midfielder, but he's got the skill to get forward. A wealth of talent at that spot. Michael Bradley, Ricardo Clark, Mastroeni.
Feilhaber is of Austrian Jewish descent. He said no to the Austrian national team when given a shot to make his debut for that club. He held out hope of getting his shot for the U.S., and sure enough, he seems to be a fixture, at least in this tournament, for Bob Bradley at the Gold Cup.
You're right, Steve. He's alternated who he's been playing with in tandem. Ricardo Clark, Michael Bradley, Mastroeni, but Feilhaber has got a lot of playing time, and this is where a tournament like Gold Cup can make a player.
He started all 3 games of this Gold Cup, and I mention that because he's the only U.S. player to do that. They have mixed up this roster very effectively the first 3 games. Get a look at Sam's Army, those in attendance here at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. They've had much to cheer about today. U.S. over the midfield stripe again. Ching is on the ball. Brian Ching lays it off into open space. Beasley with the final touch goal. 4-0 United States. And DeMarcus Beasley, incredible tournament, continues. He has dominated this game. In the 89th minute, a 4-0 U.S. lead.
I've never seen the U.S. pass the ball so well, Steve. It started again with Brian Ching. Excellent passing, movement, running off the ball. Easiest of finishes for DeMarcus Beasley. It was Ching to Dempsey to Beasley. Boom, bam, bang. Look at this. Montez looked up, wanted an offside. Look at the pass by Clint Dempsey. Blind look away with the left foot right into the path. He never looked and put it right into the path of Beasley, who slots it home with the right foot.
The so-called stars of the U.S. team have really come to the table today. There was Donovan in the first half, Beasley the entire game. You've had a very effective outing from the likes of Clint Dempsey again, and it's all added up to this 4-0 result. And that last goal is significant in more ways than one. In goal differential, right now as we speak, El Salvador trails Trinidad and Tobago as they try to get out of this Group B with the United States. The U.S. will be the only team in this Gold Cup to play perfectly in the opening round, the only 3-0 team. We're in added time now, putting the finishing touches on this one. They'll be the top seed to emerge from Group B. Feilhaber in the midfield, Dempsey. The former Revolution midfielder, Clint Dempsey. Now playing for Fulham of the English Premiership. Backline Parkhurst now. Feilhaber. The issue is not in doubt. The United States will remain undefeated in group play in Gold Cup. 22 games. They will have won 21 with only 1 draw. Feilhaber plays it forward. Ching looks to put it in the direction of Twellman, who comes back now. Knocked away. Enriquez lost his balance. Played forward now by El Salvador. On the near side, they get it to Julio Martinez. Back for Dennis Alas. Pushing forward now, Jose Martinez. And just has it taken away by Feilhaber.
You mentioned it early, Steve. El Salvador, here's a through ball.
Ching making a run right up the gut into open space. Twellman, will he have his second of the game? No. Fired wide off the left foot.
Yeah, I think Escobar got a piece. Great defending. He got over late. Here's the square ball over to Twellman. Watch Escobar trying to catch up. He actually didn't get there in time, but put a little pressure on.
One of the few times they haven't finished. 4-0. The U.S. wins it. Back with a wrap in just a few moments.
Work like a pro. Play like a pro. Tackle tough jobs. Dominate the game. Destroy the competition. Go professional. Choose Makita.
Through the Football for Hope movement, FIFA is committed to protecting children and their rights, furthering social integration and peace and reconciliation. Football for Hope champions health promotion and anti-discrimination. FIFA is firmly committed to using football to resolve some of the most pressing social challenges of our time. Football can change the world.
At the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, we test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
Well, the fans who made their way to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, the U.S. fans anyway, had to love what they saw. A dominant 4-0 victory over El Salvador alongside Shep Messing. I'm Steve Cangelosi. It's been a while since we've seen the U.S. look so crisp in so many ways.
Steve, I think it was a great game by the U.S. team. Bob Bradley again showed the depth on his roster. I've never seen such great running off the ball, passing, and finishing. Tremendous display.
The scoring from start to finish, all United States. Let's take a look at the game's highlights.
Dominating performance by the U.S. The corner kick, and DeMarcus Beasley sticks it in with the inside of the right foot. Nobody marks him. Too many players for Montez to get a look. And then stoppage time of the first half. Handball by Pacheco. Feilhaber was playing the ball in. Landon Donovan slots home the penalty kick. 2-0 at the halftime break. More of the same. Brian Ching, what a good touch by Taylor Twellman. He drills it home. That makes it 3-0. Great first touch by Twellman. Nutmegs the goalkeeper, Montez. Again, the U.S. A no-look pass. Clint Dempsey, DeMarcus Beasley, goal number 4. Great pass inside of the right foot. That made it 4.
So the United States still perfect in group play in the history of the Gold Cup with the convincing win. And let's look at the story now in Group B with half the competition done at this stage at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. There's still one more game to play as Trinidad and Tobago and Guatemala get set to play in the nightcap. Here's what we know. The United States, of course, is in. They're in first place, a perfect 3-0. Guatemala is on very solid ground. As long as they don't lose in the nightcap to Trinidad and Tobago by 4 goals or more, they are guaranteed a place in the quarterfinal round, the knockout phase of the tournament. El Salvador is mathematically alive. Realistically, they are out of this thing. And Shep Messing, the 4 goals they allowed pretty much spelled doom for them.
Steve, I thought El Salvador caught the USA team at a bad time for El Salvador. The USA had nothing to play for, but they were playing full forward attack mode. El Salvador got punished.
United States' best game of the tournament so far. We'll see where it takes them from here. For Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Concacaf Gold Cup 2007. The U.S. beats El Salvador 4-0.